work on our menu, the first thing that we need to do, we need to visit this restaurant page, or we can just come to our menu page. Then we need to remove this. So in here we have one disadvantage because we're not passing on navigation uh through params. So what we can do, we have to import use navigation if we want to use navigation in this page. Okay, so down at the bottom we're just going to create an instance of our navigation like that. So we do have our navigation. We can use navigation whenever we want. So that's the first thing. Next, we need to go ahead and take care of our data. We need to get the restaurant data to this page. So we're going to have our restaurant object. Okay, so that's the data that we're getting from our context. It's supposed to be restaurant obj. Okay, so let's just replace this, and then we put R here, keep R, and then here we have to use context, the use context hook. So make sure that it is imported right on top, and we have to mention the context that we're consuming, okay, which is restaurant context. So we have our context. So we need to go ahead and have a flat list in here. A flat list because we need to display a list of foods this restaurant has. So in order for us to have a flat list, the first thing that we're going to take care of is a little bit of style to our view. So we're going to give our view a style. We're going to give it empty margin top. We're going to give it 5. Okay, so you have to put navigation inside, not outside. Okay. So let's work inside of our view. So the first thing, we need a flat list. So for our flat list here, what we're going to do, okay, let's just go ahead and write the code together. So we're going to have a flat list. Make sure it's imported right on top, and it's a closed component. First thing, we're going to require the data prop. So here we're going to just use the UI data, and we're going to get the foods. Okay, show vertical scroll. We need to set this property to false. We don't want to show the scroll. Afterwards, we need to add a little bit of style as well. So for style, we're going to manipulate empty margin top, and we need to give it a 5. Key extractor. So for key extractor, we're going to use the item that we're going to be extracting from our data. And from that item, we're going to take item.id, item._id, since the data is the same as the data that we were supposed to get from the database. So that's going to be our key extractor here. That's an error. It's supposed to be like that. And down below, we need number of columns. We are going to give it two columns. We are going to enable our scroll. After enabling our scroll, we're going to just render item. Okay, so when we're rendering, we're going to take in an item, and then we're going to render the component that we want to render. Okay, so we're going to put it in brackets, not braces, brackets. So let's just have a view in here, just to have a little bit of a view of what we're dealing with. Inside of a view, we're going to put a text. Okay, so we have 3. This list is quite small. Now let's see. Foods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. We have quite a lot. Okay, let's try to remove number of columns. Okay. Okay, so we're just going to make it as a tile. We don't want to make things complicated. So let's remove number of columns here. Okay. And so what we're going to do here, we're going to have our image. That's the image, and we're going to also have the details, and we should be able to add stuff to the cart. So let's go ahead and try to design our component. So we're going to design it as a separate component. So we just need to come to components, create a new file, and we're going to call it food tile. And it has to be a JSX file. We've created our component, and it's going to receive the item. We're going to need on press with a small letter here. and we're going to also need to show details. So on press is going to be for the cart, and show details is going to redirect us to the full details page. Okay, like that. So first we need to wrap this in a style. We're going to just call it a wrapper. So we need to create this wrapper down below. So for our wrapper, we're going to have a background color, and the background color is going to be secondary one. And that's the first. We're going to have border radius. It's supposed to be border radius here. We're going to give it a border radius of 12. A little bit of padding. We're going to give it a padding of 12 as well. After that, let's go with margin bottom. MB is equals to 15. Let's go with MR. That's margin right. Margin right, we're going to give it a margin of 10. And padding right, we're going to give it a padding of 7, like that. So let's go ahead and just hook this foot tile to this flat list. Okay. So here we're going to have our foot tile. So it's a closed component. Yeah, okay. So that's our foot tile right there. And we're going to pass in the item. So if we come back to our foot tile, we have this text here, so we can access the item and we can get the title like that. So let's go ahead and design how we want it to look, and then we can proceed to our recommendations.